So, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you who are watching us via the stream. Good morning, Barbara.
Yeah.
My name is Alexandra Vetrovsky-Brychta, and I am the Chief Growth Officer of CELUM. And today is my utmost honor that I am hosting our very first Fireside talk. And I have the privilege also that this talk will deal with one of the most important and most exciting and timely topics of our industry, brand management. But before we start, let me just mention that our session is being recorded. So you will receive that recording a few days afterwards. And if you have any questions, please enter them into the questions panel of the GoToWebinar. We will definitely try to answer all of them, or at least as many of them as possible at the end of our talk. So, and now I have the true pleasure to introduce Barbara Klinser-Kammerzelt, our very special guest today. Thank you so much for being with us and for dedicating your time to be part of that very first Fireside talk with us. Barbara Klinser-Kammerzelt, you are not only a power woman in our industry, and I have the honor for knowing you really very long years. I won't talk too much about how long, but it is kind of a time. And you bring with you a high expertise in the whole ecosystem of marketing from all different angles and perspectives. Currently, you are Vice President of Brand and Marketing Communication at Magenta Telecom. So, do you want to also say a few words about you and also what the motivation is that you are dedicating your time for us today?
Sure. So first of all, thanks for inviting, and it's really an honor to be here on the premiere and the very first chat. And great that you have invited me. Why I'm here, maybe I think brand management and the importance of brand is really gaining now again a lot of attention. And so I think it's really time to talk a lot about the topic and also talking a little bit about how did it develop in the past, how are we managing it, what are the challenges here, and I think it's really great to interact here and talk a little bit about those things. And also, of course, we are using CELUM and have a great experience here, and maybe we can also share that.
Thank you so much. I, of course, would love to hear that. You already mentioned it. Brand management is becoming more important than ever in my experience. The last 2 days, we both have been part of a marketing conference, which took part in Vienna these days. And normally that conference is dealing with data, with KPIs, with performance marketing, digital advertising, so all those hard facts. But the last 2 days, there was one topic which was kind of underlying in all talks, in all panels, and it was branding, brand management. And this is just one hint we are getting, but there are many more. Recently, the European Marketing Confederation made a study in whole Europe with about 1,700 marketing managers, CMOs, who answered those questions. And there, brand management has been ranked on the second place of the topics which are getting strategic focus in 2025 and beyond. Just one place behind AI, which I would say is the kind of ongoing topic number one everywhere. But brand management is really on place two. So this is also in Austria, because they have also divided those study results for Austria, and so it's in Europe on place two, and it's in Austria on place two. And so what I would now ask you is, do you have an explanation why the importance of brand management is rising that tremendously these days?
I think there are several reasons for that. On the one hand, when we look a little bit in our world and the economics and all the stuff that's going on with our multi-crisis world, brands are here to stabilize and to give a little bit of orientation. So I think this is also why brands gain importance, and also that brand management is getting more attention in companies. Moreover, I think that many companies realize more and more that brand success and the strong brand is also related to business outcomes. It's not only about nice campaigns. That's where performance and brand and creativity go hand in hand. And I think also brand management, so really creating the consistency around that very detailed digital ecosystem and all the touch points that we have in our world, is getting more difficult, and therefore you need more attention and more attention on the brand and the brand management.
True, I totally believe that. And I think there is also, in my opinion, another aspect which plays in there. And this is kind of the overall topic of these days, AI, artificial intelligence, because because of the use of those assistants, the traffic or the data which you can gain is getting lesser and lesser. So there will be the black box, which is already existing in the digital world of having the data of the users or getting access to the data of the users. Is getting, it's definitely decreasing. And so brand could be an answer then if I am losing kind of traffic and performance possibilities to get in touch with the customer to increase the branded traffic, the direct traffic. And there was also an example on that conference which showed very, very good, in my opinion, what happens to branded traffic, direct traffic when you're investing in branding, in brand campaigns. So I definitely see that we are, in my opinion, just on the beginning of the rising of the importance of brand management. Do you see it the same way?
Yeah, and also here I think AI comes into play. Because what AI does, it's maybe a little bit, if you compare it to former social media where we started using user-generated content, it's again a little bit of, there is a democratization of generating content and high quality content. So everyone can do nice pictures, nice videos, and here brand governance comes into play. And this is again a very important part of brand management, I would say, because nowadays we work with many partners, different agencies. So it's really important to keep them together and have strong guidelines to make your brand consistent across all channels. And of course, with AI, you can automate, you can do it easier. But there are also very quick ways to work around existing stuff. And also here it's, yes, and we have experienced that already, of course. So this will be very important for us too.
Speaking of that, because you have an ecosystem of collaboration partners in that field, which is really incredible, as I have seen that. So what are your strategies to really ensure that this is kind of working?
Yeah, so only looking at Austria, of course, yes, we use digital asset management, and this is really important for us because we have different agencies we work with. We have a lot of internal stakeholders we work with across teams in the whole company. We work with our shop partners, indirect partners, sales, and so on. So it's very different people, different knowledge, and of course, different level of expertise. And so having one platform where we bring all together, all the assets that we have and create workflows and also collaborate across the platform is really important to drive that consistency as one part of the brand management. And when we look further, so as we are part of Deutsche Telekom, of course we have one logo, and we just started the design refresh of introducing also the T in Austria. We are using a lot of international assets too and have brand guidelines and brand platforms that we also utilize and then introduce and adapt for Austria where it's necessary.
Interesting, really interesting. Was this also a challenge internally, so talking about leadership topics there, to stick to those processes, to really educate also the whole organization, to stick to the tool, to stick to the processes? Yes. So what's your experience there?
Absolutely. So it's also a way, it's never a one shot, and you have to stay consistent. And we just did another, I think, 2 workshops within the last month where we onboarded new people on agency side, where we also onboarded internal new colleagues who also started using the platform. And it's a permanent reminding people to use it. And of course, you are never finished with collaboration. It's also getting feedback, talking about how to use it and adapting the way you use it. So it's not only sharing assets, it's also in our process of campaign creation, giving the feedback over that platform, insisting on also if we did a call, please also put it there, so that we create that transparency. And yes, that's continuous work.
Great to hear, and it reminds me a bit, or remembers me also a bit, if using a CRM, because it's the same thing there. Yeah. You have to put all those informations in there, otherwise the best tool will not help you with your challenges. So do you have also kind of a playbook or process guidelines for new joiners when they come and starting working with you?
Yeah, we just started that kind of, because when we are continuously evaluating how we work, and did way of work workshops and adapt those. And there we are now creating the guidelines to also have easier onboarding. We have presentations on how to use it and clear guidelines there. And this is, I also think, essential to have those rules, because otherwise everyone interprets everything a little bit different in terms of brand, in terms of working with tools. And so it's really essential to have something where you can reference to and say, look, we all have to do that.
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, I really feel you there. How big is your team?
We are only in brand and Marcom around 25. And of course, collaborating with many more within the company in terms of shops, salespeople, and different agencies that we work with.
Okay. Yeah. And how much campaigns per year as a roundabout you're driving through?
Well, depending on how you now count campaign.
Yeah.
But I assume it should be around 100 at least. Of course, having bigger ATL campaigns, including TVCs, where we also do the creation, adaptation, and feedback work via the digital asset management platform. But of course, also some POS only stuff, as well as digital only stuff, as well as BTL campaigns like Easter and so on. Yeah. So it adds up to quite a high number, I would say.
Yeah, I can imagine. And yeah, there is something coming up, Easter.
Yes.
So is it also, so you have also those seasonal things where you are then creating assets for it, campaigns for it, and you're working on that?
Yes, exactly. Plus what we also have, we are not only using it for that, what we also have, we gathered all our shops there, for example, so that we soon have or quickly have an impression on how does what shop look like. So we have a kind of a gallery there. So if we do new assets and new adaptations, we can also check that. So we are really also trying to use it 360 degrees.
Okay. So now you have already touched a topic about different systems, and I would say the MarTech tech stack, I could assume it's very also complex at Magenta Telekom, and you have a big variety of different systems there. So how important is that brand management tool is integrated and communicating with the other tools?
That's our continuous effort, and the IT tech stack is quite big in general, and MarTech, of course, is, I would say, continuously increasing as there are new touch points and new tools coming up. And so really having APIs, integrations, and ways of collaboration there is very essential for us. Also working with, I would say, different types of documents, may it be a simple table, a collaboration tool, themes, all that stuff. Integrating seamlessly, I think we are not there yet, but this is something where we really, and I know we work together on that, so that we make it easier for everyone to collaborate.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So collaboration is also what I'm hearing out here is very important on the one side, but on the other side, it's also kind of the challenge per se.
Yes, of course.
So this is kind of, and this is also what our brand management study, because we also did a study last year, especially for brand management, and their collaboration was ranked on the first place when we're talking about what is the challenge in brand management, and there it was really collaboration. Yeah, and I think also maybe you in the stream outside there can feel us when we're talking about the problems of collaboration, because it's always also related to problems in communication and having them transparent, giving the feedback, also those feedback loops, having it in tools so that everybody can see and work on it. So this is definitely one of the business crucial things, I would say. Talking about business crucial and business success. You have had many roles also before working at Magenta. Would you say that there's a big difference, brand management for B2B and B2C?
In my team, we do the comms for B2C and B2B. I think the tactics vary. Maybe who you talk to varies, but it's still people, although the decision-making processes are different. I don't see such a big difference. It's more in tactics, because the emotional part is still important. I think here also the perception has changed in the last years, because B2B, it's not only about rational, it's not only about pricing and solution, it's also, we are talking to people when we talk in B2B campaigns, and we also see that in other studies like B2B effectiveness ladder and so on. It's not only one email or one digital campaign, it's also the more you use the whole ecosystem and you talk also in an emotional way, adding that rational, it works better. And for us, I think it's also interesting because looking at our logo, the big T that's connecting everything, we are a brand for consumers and for businesses, also globally. And this can even strengthen the communication here if we use a consistent communication across everything. And for example, we support you with 5G. This is relevant for businesses as well as for consumers. So we can also use one message to talk to a lot of different people and solutions.
Yeah, true. And at the end, people are buying from people. Yes. So this is kind of the, as you said, the emotionally part, which brand should transport and communicate to the audience, to the target group. So therefore, I find it really very, very interesting how you elaborate now on also having that consistency for B2B and for B2C. And this is also then efficiency, because I think in these days, which is also a topic we every day in the newspaper, we are reading it. It's kind of recession and of course not the ever-flowing budget. So efficiency is also a very, very important topic there. And would you say that a brand management tool, because it's investment, of course, and it costs money, this way it is, but does it pay off and adds to efficiency, more efficiency?
Yes, it adds, because you do not have to reinvent things. So if you use it properly, and this is also an effort, of course, you always have stuff to work from, to look at, and to reuse. And it's really, it is creating efficiency. It can reduce production costs. You are getting quicker in giving feedback. You don't lose much information on your way on a bigger campaign. So it definitely adds efficiency.
Great. And of course, to also think that it is kind of that.
Yes.
And we have many examples with our customers who would underline that, of course, also because it's also reducing the internal efforts, of course, when it's established, of course, but there is kind of an investment, but it pays definitely off, and it is especially in times where the budget are not that big. Is it always a good way, I would say, to look about efficiency and to look where we can invest to later on save costs there.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is kind of definitely true. Have you a concrete example? If not, it's also fine. Where that effectivity of brand management has clearly contributed to business success or to avoid a mistake or being quicker? So where you really can share a success case with us.
I can share the global and international and local brand success case in general. So when we look at really working consistent on a brand, using a platform and guidelines and the content and brand hub, we just have to look at kind of our brand success that we have, because we are I think 11th in the world. We are the number one telco brand in the world. We are number one brand in Europe. And our brand value, to another latest study, is as high, has never been higher in our company history. So this is really good. And we see that it correlates with our financial success. So also in Austria, we do have good financial results and are growing, as well as in general Deutsche Telekom, and also our brand assets and our brand KPIs are really on a very high level. So we see working on the brand and making it a business priority, and that we do also in Austria, contributes to financial success.
That's super great to hear, and I think it's a very good example how it's really adding business value for a company. So I think at Magenta Telekom, you don't have to fight for the standing of brand management and branding. I think that's kind of a given there. But you have also, not really.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes.
I would assume. But you also have experience, especially also from your agency time, where it was always hard maybe to fight for branding budget, for branding. Do you see there, where is or other differences between sizes of companies, B2B, B2C, or industries? Yeah, I would like to hear a bit on that, also from your experience, when I have now the chance to talk with you about that.
I'm quite sure it's also depending on budget. So if you don't have that, it's very well thought of and invested money if we do image and brand campaigns. But if you do not have that amount and smaller budgets, you, I think, tend to do more performance-driven stuff. Although we know in the long run, it's not the only solution you can do, because as you have mentioned, the traffic on a website, also brand is important. And when we talk about lead generation and sales, you have to have an upper funnel first. And if there is no upper funnel, no one will search for you. So also a search budget, a performance budget, it won't be as successful as if you combine it with other stuff. And when I think years back, it was very clear, I want performance very often. And I think this is already changing quite a lot, and in most industries, because we know we have the funnel and the customer journey, and more companies and advertisers are trying to combine the different stages of interest, of awareness, and this is more possible in digital, and also with smaller budgets. I think we have more solutions than we had years ago to do that.
True. Very interesting, because I do really see that development, because when I always use it, when I'm thinking years back, that was always just branding. Yes, okay, we also have to do that.
Can't we buy clicks?
Yes, so it is, yeah. But what we really do is we have to see the success. We have to measure. We have to have those KPIs and all those things. And now it's really changing. And I think also what I'm seeing and feeling is that it kind of merges together, because, as you said, the one can't be without the other. And it's the same. It's a bit the same discussion between should it be online or offline, because it's also here the one can't be without the other. And so we have to think it in a 360 degrees effort, of course. Do you also see that development in the organization, so that their kind of branding teams and performance marketing teams are working closer together?
Yes, we just did that, for example. So I think in many companies, it's like performance is digital And then we have the rest, and that's awareness, like you said, online and offline. And this has to go much more hand in hand. I think that increases complexity. Another level of complexity here, because also different languages are spoken when we are talking of performance people and brand people. And also maybe here, one platform is ensuring the consistency at the end of the day. And of course, you have to adapt your measurements and how you talk about success. And there will be success of digital campaigns, and there will be cost per order, cost per registration, which is important, and it will still be about brand awareness. And if you're having a certain size, and we do have, I think, the privilege to also do media marketing, marketing modeling and sales modeling to bring all those things together. And on the other hand, you just have to balance it.
Yeah, cool. And definitely another point for having a brand management tool there to fight against the complexity and bring it back or transparent to structures, to processes there, and to reduce the complexity with having a tool in place.
Yeah, and what I would like to add here, because this is a very interesting discussion too when we are talking about performance marketing, we soon have small banners and not much room for branding, right? Yeah. And here also different worlds come together, I would say, where you have to make the best of both ones. So I think we shouldn't do too many give-ins when we talk about performance marketing, because also here the brand has to stay important and everything has to work together. Because with all the small digital touch points where we can do the personalization, we still have to make sure that the brand is strong there, because only then you have the consistency and can really make most of the brand that you create.
So, and here it's really the detail which makes the difference.
Yes.
Because when we are thinking about especially social media, with all those different formats, it's incredible. It's really literally stupid. Yeah. So, I am looking with kind of an awe to all you marketers who are doing that work to adding or to preparing those different formats, because even at TikTok or Meta, I think there are hundreds of different formats where you have to make sure that the consistency of how the visual looks like and which messages and where the assets, the important assets are placed, so that they are centric, that they are not eaten up by those layovers which the social media puts over. So it's really kind of incredible. And once more, a tool can help there, because you can then make sure, if you have everything on those templates in place, that only that asset is used for that channel and for the touch point. And I will really not imagine, and also kudos to my marketing team who have that, who are doing that effort also every day for our assets and for our content, if you don't have a tool in place to ensure that a visual for TikTok is not used on Meta, which is built for TikTok, and made for TikTok is not used on Meta, or vice versa, because otherwise you will lose what you said now. The consistency of the brand, how it's transported, also in the world of visuals, with pictures, with audio, and all those things. So kind of,
And what is it? You need the tool, and then you need all the people that use the tool and that really pay that attention to the details and talk to each other, understand each other, and really make the most of it.
Yeah. So when we're talking now about, we also see there that the brand management and the performance marketing have to go hand in hand there. So I can sum it up, that discussion about brand management or performance management, both is important, and there has to be a collaboration, and it has to be very, very tight together. Yeah, great. When I'm just looking at the time, do we have some questions in the audience where we can talk about maybe which are now related to the topics we have talked about?
We do have brand management questions. First one is, how important is the factor of brand for the distinctions to or between competitors?
I think it's the essential part of the differentiator here, because with a strong brand, in times of we have a very highly competitive market, here the brand really makes the difference. And this is also where a strong brand can stand out and can really differentiate. And then maybe you should prefer one brand above another one, and it will be easier to choose one brand if you are familiar with it. If we manage to create really that emotional connection, there will be a more natural way of choosing one brand above another one, and here differentiation is really key.
Mm-hmm. The answer already kind of plays into the question, into the answer of the question following, which would be, which role does brand management play in the customer's purchase decision, and how big can the impact be from your point of view?
Okay, well, we have been talking a little bit about funnels already. So I think brand management can really be important here, because we have to define the role of the brand in every step of the journey. So it's the orientation point, maybe at the beginning, it might help you go into one direction. And then, of course, also the story or the solution the brand is connected to has to adapt. And here also brand management and the tool for that is important, because you can then define the journey easier, find the better solutions and the better, let's say, asset per step that really guide customers through the whole purchase funnel at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Typical on the scale of question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how important is it to have a strong brand today?
11.
If you are, I mean, this refers to manufacturing, but if you are a company, what is more important, that your brand is on top of mind in your target market, or that the general public recognizes your brand, even if they may not buy?
I think that strongly depends on where you're standing, what the market is, how the competition looks like. What I'm quite convinced of is where brands can make a difference is really when we build the trust. Trust is something that will be recognized in the general public, right? And then we can also make a difference more in the purchase decision. But for gaining trust, you have to be consistent, you have to be emotional, your creativity has to be felt in what you're standing for, and then you can build that trust.
Mm-hmm. This is now a more general or more Magenta-related question. What is the key brand management process that helps companies like Magenta succeed?
I think this is everything that's playing together and never stopping to try to get better, actually, because the world is getting more technical. There are more and more tools. AI is coming strongly into the, I would say, creative process and therefore also brand management process. And the important thing is not to stop, but always look where there are new ways and where do I have to optimize collaboration or outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Talking about AI, because no talk or no conference is a good conference with good talk without AI, of course, in these times. How do you see the impact of artificial intelligence in affecting brand management? You already said it's kind of helping or could be helping. So will it be really a chance or will it also be a challenge?
Yeah, of course, it is already a challenge because you see that everyone can try something with AI and then a quite nice picture comes out of the system and you can post it there. Maybe you shouldn't. So this will be the challenging part here. But as every new technology, I think it's better to embrace it, but really use it wisely. And here I think we do have an advantage as we are a global company, that we do have strong support here where we can also rely on our international colleagues to find guidance and also to work with many different companies here. In terms of being quick in innovation, in automation, and in using AI properly.
And I think there is also a phenomenon here that I think we have, or the usage of AI is very high at the moment already, because AI is kind of in more or less every tool. Yeah, so not only, of course, in CELUM, but in all other MarTech tools, there is already AI stuff in it. Yeah, because it's not since yesterday that AI is in the tech industry on a daily agenda. Let's say it like that, in product development and all those things.
Yeah.
So I think it's also kind of a perceived chance or perceived challenge, because you are using it on a daily basis already, especially in marketing, because the usage in marketing is definitely higher already than in other teams or in other processes in the organization of a company. Great. So do we have another question there?
No, nothing related to AI. Most of them were kind of similar, so the most important or the main questions have been answered.
Okay, then I have another one, of course.
Okay.
I am prepared about that. Yeah. Do you see other emerging trends that are shaping the future of brand management, with not only talking about AI, because there are many other things also out there?
But still related to, let's say, at least algorithms and machine learning, it's the direction of hyper-personal communication, personalization even more at scale. So it won't only be about using templates to be very target audience oriented in comms, but it should help us also on a bigger scale to do that. And I think for brand management, it's really more about building the trust of brands. We have all those technological developments, of course. I think brand experience will be more important. Their technology comes into play, but it does not only have to be technology, because building trust is always also about relationships and connections, and we are standing for connections. So brand experience is also really important here, I think, and will be something where we'll see quite a lot of things going even deeper than a big ATL campaign, TVC, adding very personal experiences there.
Great. So in creating emotions, and I think that could be that is also maybe the answer for that improving technology and technocratic views of go-to-market with the brand. There is kind of that translation between the machines, the algorithms, and the emotions. Because as we talked already before, people are buying from people and not from algorithms or from data or whatever. So to bring back the person, to bring back the human being is kind of also a very important thing which a brand can do, in my view. Yeah. So, and there Magenta Telekom definitely is doing a great job there to adding that emotional impact. Yeah, that's really cool. So, when you think about the near future, or also about the highlights you can give, what recommendations would you give other marketing and brand managers to elevate their brand management to the next level?
Yeah, I think it's really about, you have to evaluate, talk to your team, talk to all the stakeholders, find out where the needs are, and then work on what you have already. Maybe you find out you have to introduce a tool. Maybe you can work with some tables first of all, and easy project management, and then elevate to the next step. But it's really listening, I think, and defining processes together, where everyone can stand behind. And it's, as I said in the beginning, it's not a one-time off. Introducing tools and new workflows is always something that's not fun for everyone, and where you have to stay consistent, and also celebrate the successes that you have. I think this is also something my team does regularly. We remind each other, and today it's really the way that we say, look, and here we have another great example of why the platform worked for us and why we now have a solution here, and why the others know about it. So also sharing the small success stories can really help enforcing, creating consistent brand management here.
I do like what you said now at the end about also giving space to celebrate successes. Yeah, because often there are those big KPIs. We are trying to hit them and to reach them, and it's often a long time, so that you have to wait. And to break it down into the small milestones and also celebrate the success of them, I think it's really crucial for success, for the motivation.
Exactly. Because it's like, now the colleague from there, he never wanted access, now he requested it finally. This is something where people are really happy, and that really motivates you to go on, and also enhances your work at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it is. Because as it is, even if brand management often is related to the nice videos, the nice spots, the nice pictures, it's much of hard work, of processes, as you said, which are not fun, and to bring back fun also for those things, and also to kind of let the tools shine then, because if also a tool is a tool, so it is, but what comes out of the tool and how it's used and how it can enable the organization, is that what the success comes from. And I do really like that, especially if a customer of us like you is celebrating that somebody is asking for access. I do really like that. And I also do think now, if we don't have another very, very big question which is out there, so I emphasize, please.
One AI question popped up. Okay. Today, the influence of AI regarding campaigns is not too big. There's still a huge human part when it comes to creative input. How big will the influence next year or in 2 years be, do you think?
Let's ask AI. Well, on the one hand, where I can really imagine that the influence is getting higher is AI supporting creating insights. And based on that insights, we can do the next campaigns and elevate the next level of creativity. And we know, and we've heard that too often, AI won't replace people and it won't replace creativity, but I think it can really support the next level of insights, and creativity should be based on insights, so it will increase, but it won't replace.
Thank you. Thank you also for you who have watched us in the stream and asked those smart questions. Thank you, Barbara, for being with us, for dedicating your time and giving us those insights, which were really very interesting from my point of view. I hope also you enjoyed it, our dear audience, and I am very much looking forward to many more of those fireside talks. I think we really, were able to hit some important topics about brand management and the challenges and also the chances brand management tool offering for business success. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. Hope to see you again at our next events, and wishing you a nice day and also a nice weekend, which is kind of ahead. for us. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.